slowly down the driveway. I'll have my strong torch here for the trees. We're going to look out for nocturnal animals. So when I do spot something, we'll notice eyes glowing back, little shiny eyes. So let me know if you see something that I can't see. And hopefully there'll be some lovely critters that we'll find. So you can see that it's quite strong. Yeah. I've just got my head torch as well, because when we do find something, I don't want to hurt the retinas of the animal's eyes, so I'll just use my lighter torch. As the trees, we have nocturnal animals like spiders and snakes that are on the ground as well, so it's good to check where we're walking. Use their tails a lot for climbing and for collecting things to make their nests as well.
Can you all see it?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a big one. And we get 3 different types of possums here in Lamington National Park. We get the ringtail, this one, and a brushtail possum, and a mountain brushtail possum as well. A larger, more darker, very black possum. And sugar gliders? And sugar gliders, yeah.
那这种叫环尾附属。
Pademelons on the top here. Particular nightjar, this bird here,
就夜莺
is looking for small animals to eat, maybe antechinus or mice or frogs, things like that that come out at night. So that's why it's got a good spot up there, in and around the edge of the forest, just looking for little animals to pop out so it can eat.
开始蚁
Yeah,
啊
it's，having a
哇，
look
这
at
些的
us. They'll probably move back into the forest for protection. Once we go, they'll just come back out again and continue what they're doing, so we won't disturb them too much. You can see that there's some smaller pademelons that would usually be in their mum's pouch, but at night time they're happy to be beside them eating as well.
I'll just play this call.
Yeah, play them that marbled frog now. Yeah, it's like a knock, isn't it?
You hear it?
Yeah. It's a good one.
It's its beak.
Yeah, it's like a...
Oh, so what's the normal frog mouth sound?
Normal one sounds like someone's trying to start an engine, but it never quite starts.
No, we've just spent a week with
像那引擎声。
and the wallabies up there are much less shy than these.
Yeah. Anyway.
They're redneck wallabies. Yeah, you can.
He's 6 weeks old, and then they'll graduate out of the pouch, but still drink milk from the mother. But the pademelons, like a lot of the other macropods in Australia, are wonderful at creating babies. They're great procreators. They're very good at it, and in fact, most of the mums here, when their young joey graduates from the pouch, they'll already have another baby ready to develop and mature into the pouch. It's just a continual process. So they can fall pregnant between 2 and 12 hours after they give birth to the first one. They're very quick. Sometimes you can hear the noise of the pademelons, a clicking noise where they communicate to each other. Colour on those parts of their body, on the neck region and the upper leg. But they're a perfect size to live in the rainforest, because when you go for a walk you can see how fast they can dart in and out of that dense area. So in regards to macropods, obviously there's larger ones, wallabies and eastern kangaroos, and then the big ones are red kangaroos out in the outback, or when you get further west, but they're more suited for the open areas. So here in the rainforest, these Pademelons are the perfect size. Here is the northern tree funnel web spider. So tree dwelling funnel web spider it's also called. It's really important not to put your hands on the trees during the day, but also during the night as well. If you need to rest up against the tree, just take a check, because these webs here are commonly sitting flat on the tree, and as you can see, they're quite camouflaged. So they're using a similar green lichen on the tree on the web as well. So there's two webs here. There's one up the top and one down the bottom. And Barry knows these webs very well, don't you, Barry?
I do, yeah.
And actually we're quite attached to, well, I'm quite attached to this lady up here. There are two ladies that live here. And I know that she's been here for a really long time. We were trying to guess this lady's age the other day, because I think, Barry, we've been saying 15 years for many years. So she's probably a lot older than that now.
Well, it's hard to, if it's been the same one,
Yeah.
then we're talking over 20 years. And that's known that they can live for, maybe 25 years.
That's right. So this tree next to me on my right, this one here, on the opposite side there is some more webs. And what was really interesting a few months ago was that, I'm not sure why, but one of the webs got destroyed and it was hanging off the tree. And it took quite a few weeks for it to be repaired. So my guess is that possibly the spider that lived there was able to fix her home, and she chose to stay where she was and not to move to another spot. So possibly, as Barry was just saying, if this one is the same spider, which it is likely that it is, she would be at least 20 years old. And that is a common lifespan for a spider who is a primitive species. So in the rainforest we have modern spiders, like the one that we saw on the grass as we were coming over, walking over the paddock. And this one is a primitive spider, and that just means that scientists say it has been here in the rainforest for millions of years. And you can see, if I am able to entice her out to say hello, you can see that she's quite a large spider. She's glossy and black with big hairy legs, and she's very strong actually. So I've picked a nice soft piece of grass. I'm very respectful of how hard she's worked to make her web. A lot of energy has gone into making that. And she creates her web with saliva and probably bits of dirt and bark and silk and lots of different ingredients to make sort of like a fabric quality.
Ooh.
Did you see her come out? I can.
What's that?
有没有看到黑色的？
对
Yeah, there's some action going on. Just.
注意看啊，它因为它触动，
So
触动
this
它有
lady
She's
up
big.
here, she is big, isn't she? This lady up
Come
here,
out. She come out.
yeah, she did. Her name's Morticia.
它震动，
So her legs are just at the doorway here, where the piece of grass is, and she might come out again to see what it is. Well, she's not seeing very well because her eyesight's not that strong, but what she's doing is she's sensing. Her tripwires here on her web are like fishing lines. She can detect movement just by the most gentle, slight touch. And by doing this with a soft piece of grass, she comes out usually to check what it is. Sometimes she'll take my piece of grass and pull it back inside her house, and she won't give it back. She'll hold on to it, and she's very strong, and I don't play tug of war with her because I don't want to fight. I don't want to argue with Morticia. But she's a lovely spider, and she gets lots of attention from everyone here at Binna Burra. down below is her daughter, and her daughter's name's Wednesday. And you can see as soon as I tickle her web there,
来不及，
the whole web moves as she moves throughout her tunnels.
底下是他女儿，然后上面是他妈妈。他妈妈已经待了差不多20年了。
Wednesday's a little bit more active than Morticia tonight. It might be because she's a bit younger, but she might be hungrier too.
他可能饿了，所以他会在，他不知道会出来。他女儿叫星期三了。
So there's 41 species of funnel web spider in Australia, and all of them are highly venomous. So it's very important not to go near or touch these webs, especially during the night when they're out looking for food, when they come out looking for food.
摸出来，他知道是假的。
And also, another special ingredients that's in the tripwires here are pheromones, or chemicals that attract the male spider. So she will invite the male spider over, but he has to be very careful because she might eat him too. And unfortunately for the male, he has to rove around and find shelter under leaves and rocks and things like that. So he hasn't got a luxurious home like this one. It's just the ladies that are lucky enough. Oh, yeah. Would not be as active. They go into a torpor and they slow down their metabolism because there's probably not as many things to eat. So they're very quiet. So we're lucky here tonight because it's been a warm day, it's in the summer months, and they're very active. So hopefully they'll find some food tonight. I'm not going to tickle their tripwires too much because I want them to eat. I don't want them to waste their energy. Yeah. So I'm going to let the girls rest there and we'll go and try and find some other things.
他说不要太浪费他能量。
Yes.
出来这样子玩弄他这样。
What were you going to say, Barry?
These are the type of snake that sometimes is at the entrance, catching those bats as they fly past. And you think, how could they do that with such a small head? How could they catch those bats that are going at 1,000,000 miles an hour?
It's got an interesting pattern on it though, Barry. Is that normal?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So the thing to look for there, see, little narrow
Yep.
neck, if you like, and a really broad head,
Yeah.
big eyes,
Yeah.
really big eyes. So nocturnal snake,
Yeah.
very long and slender, but like all snakes, it can open its mouth a long way. It's called Boiga irregularis because it's very widespread, and irregularis because the pattern does change a lot from various places. It is a venomous snake, but it's a rear fang snake, so it's not front fang like most Australian snakes, really dangerous ones where the fangs are right in the front of the mouth. With elapid snakes, this is a columbrid which has the fangs further back, and whilst it's venomous, it's not really considered, it's not dangerous. But the same snake in parts of New Guinea can cause fatalities.
How come? What's going
Well,
on?
it's just something about this particular group that, their venom is quite powerful. So nobody knows why that's happened in that particular, there must be some selected, reason, evolution reason, selected reason for it, but I don't think anyone's worked it out. So a common nighttime snake, feeding on baby birds, frogs, bats. I still find it extraordinary to think that a snake like that could snatch a bat out of the air.
Yeah.
But well, we didn't see it, but I've been told by, talked to a lot of people who've seen it happen.
Yeah.
How do they do it?
So you can see how it's flicking its tongue in and out, and that's how it's identifying, I guess, all of us. That's a good way to say it. as it's flicking out its tongue, it's tasting chemicals in the air and deciding what to do based on how many there is of us, how big we are, which direction we're in, all based on that flicking its tongue out.
So you decided we're a bit too
Yeah.
big for this one. Anyone been to the island of Guam? Guam? These got accidentally introduced to Guam during the Second World War on a transport plane flying New Guinea through to Hawaii. And
你有没有看他眼睛比较
no
大？有没有？
snakes in Guam.
算大的，眼睛算大的。
And they've wiped out.
他在准备的，对啊，他现在是警戒状态，
他在准
他
备，
是
completely
准
gone
备，嘿嘿嘿。
extinct because of
他
these.
们要攻击谁？
And they have the highest concentration of snakes anywhere in the world. Yeah, they
因
find
为夜行，所以他
extraordinary
眼睛
numbers.
就是
And they have to go to, because
比
Hawaii
较大
doesn't
一点
have
的，
snakes,
就
so
视
they
力要
go
好一
to
点。
extreme measures on Guam
我们给他太多
to
光线，
quarantine
看不见。
planes and things that are flying onto Hawaii.
Good idea.
And somehow they've managed to keep them out of Hawaii.
What do the snakes eat on Guam now?
Well, good question.
Each other.
Probably each other, yeah. Probably juveniles. Oh no, there's rats and mice and things like that are also introduced. So. But all those endemic birds have gone. There's other introduced birds. Is it a male or? Oh, that's a tail
Something hanging out.
Penis.
What's that?
It's a male.
Okay. Wow, wow, wow. Come here, come here. 哇，眼睛好亮。对不起，我想旁边是不是还有这么亮亮？
Shouldn't suck your blood.
Yeah,
You got it.
that's okay. 放血。
So unfortunately, when it rains, after a bit of rain,
细胞
we start getting leeches. In the summertime when it's raining, we get lots of them. In the winter time, we don't get any.
它咬了
夏季现在雨季的时候就还，
它继续在咬，
它就要多。
So they
它还是会咬。
attach and suck your blood, but they don't carry any diseases. They're just messy.
它是哪一边咬？
后面胖胖的，胖胖的。
So attach with
嗯，
that end, this end.
它头端那边啊，
前面。
对，前面啊，前面吸啊，
它现在吸饱了不吸了。
是它不，
它不够大。
那它走路的方式就跟齿货一样。
对。
Don't worry，
No diseases,
它还不会怎么样了，
just messy, just blood.
就是吸血而已。
不会啦，不会，它是这边而已。
And if you have one on you, you just pull it off.
为什么它都不咬它？
对啊，你看还是一大
皮带好像是它的主人啊。
以前我们那个
它细胞就自己掉下来。
有些人跟我们讲说，
它没有吸饱前。
When a female Pademelon gives birth, so the little baby one is about this big when it's born. So she's only pregnant for, I think it's about 30 days. A little tiny thing that crawls up into the pouch
30天左右还进到它袋子里面。
and attaches to a nipple. Then the female mates again. Almost that day, that same day, she will mate again,
它会再交配。
pregnant again,
再怀孕，
But the new one
但是新的哪一个？
only develops for 2 days, 2 or 3 days, and is known as a blastocyst. So it's a stage in the development of the embryo. So about 3 days, and then it stops growing. It's perfectly all right. It's not, doesn't die. It's still alive. Just doesn't grow.
3天受精3天后就停止发育了。
And it won't grow until the one that was born gets old enough to start coming out of the pouch, which
等
is
到大的那只长大出来了，
maybe 6 months.
可能6个月后，
And then some change in the hormones
荷尔蒙变化了。
will start the one,
另外那个在胎内
the
的，
one that was there, the 3-day one, it'll start growing
它要
again.
重新发育，
And then will be born
然后再生，
30 days or so
30
later,
天后
and
再
then
出来，
boom,
Yeah.
she gets pregnant again.
又再怀孕一次。
She's always pregnant. So if something happens to the one that's in the pouch, if that dies for some
如
reason,
果在袋子里面的那个死掉，
then the other one will start to grow.
另外一个也就再生这样子，再发育，
It's very efficient.
它非常有效率的繁殖。
And most kangaroos and wallabies, Pademelons do that.
就这3种的，这3类的都这样子。
Not all though. There's one in Tasmania. No. Anyway, in the southern states where all of the females,
所有的母的，
they all mate, they all become pregnant on the same day
对，
of the year. So there's only one day in the whole year where they become pregnant. So all the babies are born at the same time.
in Tasmania，
No, actually, I think it's it's in the southern. No, it's in
哦是
somewhere down in the southern states.
，OK， 就是在南部的某州，
我要看黄历。
Why a selective advantage? So a natural selection advantage to this behaviour. The Pademelons, because they live here in the rainforest,
这种的 Pademelon 住在雨林，
it's sort of hard to understand why they have this, what's called embryonic diapause, the one that doesn't develop. But if you imagine a kangaroo, a red kangaroo,
红色的，
out in the desert,
在那个红色的，在那个沙漠的红色的袋鼠，
so the mother's got a baby, a joey, call it, in the pouch. She's hopping around, but she can't find enough food. Then what she does is throws the baby out. She abandons the baby to die to
它
save herself.
它如果食物短缺的时候，它会把小朋友抓出来丢掉，放弃小朋友，然后保存它自己生存。
But she's already got that one. She's got one. She's still pregnant. She's pregnant with another one.
它会在胎内保留一个种，
But that doesn't develop until conditions approve, until she gets enough water, enough food, and then it will start to develop.
但是那个就是一样，停止发育，直到
When they came to Australia, they couldn't work out how kangaroos bred so quickly after it rained. So they would have babies very quickly after the rain
在
started.
雨后，在雨后，他们忽然间一下子就很快的就发育了。
The reason for that could be that if there's lots of babies around,
很
then
多 baby 就一起出生的时候，
the chances of your baby, if you're a mother, surviving are higher because there's lots of other ones. So if predators come, then if there's only 2 or 3 babies and there's predators, then there's a chance of one of those being eaten.
Yeah.
So 1 in 3 chance. But if there's hundreds of babies, and predators come, then the chances of your baby being eaten are much less.